So, Ubisoft press conference. I believe they go. It's either Sunday or that Monday. So either the 10th or the 11th. Um, and last week, we talked about that big list of rumors that Walmart leaked. And since one of those games was actually announced, Rage 2, we know pretty much for a fact that we'll see a new Assassin's Creed and a Splinter Cell game.
Mhm.
Is there anything more you want to say about either of those two games?
No, I mean, hopefully with like the time off from Assassin's Creed, kind of like with the last one, better game with more time off, or
Mm,
hoping, but
hoping, yeah.
fingers crossed, but we'll see.
Yeah. And it'll be nice after a 5 years hiatus to have a new Splinter Cell game because like
Mhm.
just tactical espionage, something that since Metal Gear probably isn't going to be coming back anytime soon because screw Konami. It'll just be nice to have some semblance of that style of game back. So yeah, it'll be nice to have both of those series back. Something else that's a surefire we will get this like every year is Just Dance. And there's gonna be some big, dance sequence with maybe some celebrity. It'll be a big 5 minute time waster just so they can make their press conference an hour long.
You don't sound excited about Just Dance.
No, I'm not.
No.
Oh, funny story. Just Dance 2018 was. I'm not sure if Just Dance 2019 will do this, but I know for a fact Just Dance 2018 was actually released for the Wii, making it the last Wii game made. And it
Wait,
just
just the week? The
well,
week?
like Wii U, Switch, and then everything else. Like it was announced
Oh, but it
released for
actually okay.
everything.
So it came out on Wii and Wii U.
Yeah,
What? Everything? Okay.
literally
What?
everything.
They haven't made a wait. What was the last time they even made a Wii game? Like
Like
it's been a.
2013
That's
probably.
what I'm saying. Like that's
Like
two consoles behind at this point. Like
yeah, I
what?
don't. I mean, it still
But
sells like it sold over 100 million units, so people still play it. I guess like
I
the
guess.
casual soccer moms that bought it and whatnot, just like have fun at a party. I guess, but
Yeah.
yep. So
Hey,
if they
I mean,
continue the
it ain't
trend,
broke.
Just Dance will keep that console alive. I guess. Okay, cool.
Maybe. Okay.
Yep.
I've still got mine.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so let's move into something that's a little more interesting. I'm pretty sure Ubisoft announced a couple of months ago that the Division 2 will be a thing. Have you played this game, The Division?
I have not played the Division.
Okay, well it's like a third person shooter with RPG mechanics,
Okay.
set in like a post apocalyptic, always snowy for some reason, New York City. And I don't think it's a zombie apocalypse, but like you're still just like scrounging around for resources and whatnot. If I'm
Hmm.
completely wrong, I'm sorry, but I like I've watched some people like play it and just the mechanics of the first one. Like since it has RPG mechanics, it's it's kind of like in this weird middle ground between an RPG and a shooter. Like you can shoot something and instead of like most shooters where it takes like 2 or 3 hits to kill something, they'll have a health bar, so you'll see the damage being taken
Oh.
away,
Okay.
which could be cool. And like other series have done that, like Mass Effect,
Mhm.
but it just didn't seem to work with the setting and like what you were like trying to do. It felt very slow, kind of monotonous at times. Like it took a long time to upgrade. Like it,
Mhm.
there were a lot of problems with it. So hopefully Division 2 can, you know, be a little bit better than the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. They're probably trying to go for like a similar style, just kind of iron out the kinks a little bit, just to kind of get the mechanics in a better shape this time.
Yeah, and that's what every good sequel should do. Like
Right.
you don't want to release a sequel and actually make it worse. Battlefield. Oh, Battlefront 2. Okay. That was a real
I
cough, by
mean,
the way. I decided to work it in.
I mean, to be fair though, was Battlefront Run One really that much like better.
Which is why Battlefront 2 being as bad as it was, being so disappointing, because the first one was also trash.
Well, it's EA, so they made the same. I mean, EA has a history of making the same game, but then adding like one new thing. So
Yeah.
like,
This time they had a story mode, which no one liked anyway.
uh,
Just quick tangent. I hate it so much how EA is always like, oh, single player games are dead. No one plays single player games anymore. Only referencing the data they have for their own games when they only have like 5 hour campaigns or they're not good to begin with. When, especially since they market these games solely as online shooters like Battlefield, Battlefront, FIFA. Like FIFA has a story mode that who's gonna play that?
not too many people I know. Like people
Exactly.
play, you play, especially FIFA. Like you play against people. Like you don't just,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but
Just uh yeah, last year Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, Nier Automata, Neo, like all these great single player games came out and just did amazingly. Yet EA still being stupid and is like, no, single player games are dying. We're gonna cancel that single player Star Wars game and turn it into a online game. Like, but why though?
like
Why do you do this to us?
just because your single player games suck doesn't mean they all suck.
Yeah,
Like you,
I
what?
don't,
No.
I don't understand. How about instead you just make better campaigns?
Or just make better games,
That could also work.
right?
Probably work better than my
That's what
my
I'm saying.
suggestion.
We wouldn't have this problem if we just made a good video game every once in a while. But I digress.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Ubisoft. So yeah, Division Two. We'll see more information about that. The first Division was also, people call this like the Ubisoft curse, where they show a game like 3 years in advance, and when they first show it, it looks beautiful. It looks
Right.
amazing, like almost realistic looking. And then they don't hear anything more about it for like a year and a half, 2 years, and then the next time it shows up, it's like doesn't look quite as good, but like it still looks presentable.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's actually released, it looks nowhere near as close to how it looked the second time. I don't know why they do that. Like, I get they have to, show good for a press conference, but like, at least make it look marginally the same, or don't even like, or have a disclaimer, game, game footage might not be final or something. Just do something like that.
Yeah, it's like they're deteriorating as it like more develop, which doesn't make any
Does
sense.
not at all.
But it's like, how did it get worse? Like that's like like getting like over time you're building something and like it gets smaller as you're building. It's like how does that even happen? Like I don't even understand how that happens. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe they're like they realize maybe we can't make the whole game like this and like,
Yeah.
try to like slowly like
Ease us
stretch out
into
like
it.
yeah, but like it's very massive and we notice immediately like
Yeah.
this is not what you
Yeah.
promised.
I guess that makes sense. Like, maybe the original footage would just like, let's just say it's an Assassin's Creed game and like it looks amazing, but all you see is just like one area, like one like city block.
Mm,
Yet they realize down the line, like, crap, we can't make the entire game look this good, so we're gonna have to make it look a little worse to make the entire game. If
right.
the entire game was just centered around that city block, it would look amazing. But like, that's not how games work. So I understand that, but still, one of the main reasons why many people were disappointed with the first Division game is because the first time it was shown off in like 2013, I think 2013, 2014. It was shown off with like beautiful, like, New York setting with snow, and like it reflected nice off the like light. The lighting was really good, and like it looked really engaging. And the second time we saw it, more snow, just more of the same setting, more of the same
Mm,
cover based shooter. Like, it still looked good, but it was just more of the same. And then the
right.
last time we saw it, snowy, New York, cover-based shooter. It just they weren't showing us anything new each time, yet it still looked worse each time. So there was no people kind of realized, wait, there's not really a reason for this to be looking worse right now. So hopefully Division 2 can come out and just be like, hey, this is what I look like. We realized we made a mistake last time, and hopefully have at least more than one snowy area.
It's like, don't worry, it's not just this part that looks good. There's more. Is there though? And then it's like, no. But I don't know.
At
We'll
least
see. I
have
don't
different.
know.
At least have different seasons. Like
Yeah. I mean, but don't
like
you
every
like
month.
constantly winter and snow? No.
That's no. That's not. I mean,
No.
yes, in New York it's always snowing, but like, it, maybe set it somewhere it's not always snowing, or um, or have just change it up somehow, or like have some event in game where like the landscape changes, or like I don't know, just do something different where it's not just snowy New York the whole time.
Go to Florida or something.
Yeah.
Like mix it up.
Have the apocalypse break out in Disney World. That would be something. That'd be a game right
That
there.
that would actually be really cool. You know, like like even if it's not like Disney World, like like a kids
A theme
amusement park
park.
or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like go into a house of mirrors and
Yeah.
that'd be
Like
insane.
I'm not sure if the Dead Rising series of games. I know they do like shopping malls and
Yeah,
stuff like that, but I don't think they've done a theme park yet. That's
I don't
something they
think
should look
so.
into. That'd be cool.
I was gonna say that might. I think that's a fresh idea. We'll run with that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sends email to.
Yeah. Yeah. Capcom, hire us. We'll make the game for you.
You're welcome.
So next up is another game that kind of fell under the same scrutiny from the Capcom curse. Watch Dogs.
Mhm.
It was the first announced in like 2011 or 12, and it looked beautiful. Like it was raining. The lighting looked really good, and it looked really promising. And then we didn't get anything from it for a year and a half, 2 years, and then it didn't look nearly as good. And then it came out, and it was just a kind of bland, boring experience that also looked kind of subpar, especially for one of the games that kind of launched with the PS4 and Xbox One. And then its sequel came out, I think 2 or 3 years later, and it just kind of happened. Like I always feel kind of bad when a game comes out and like game or movie or whatever it comes out, and then even though it was like a big deal leading up to it, it just kind of disappeared.
Yeah,
And that's kind of what
fizzled
happened to Watch
out.
Dogs 2.
Hmm. Yeah, that's usually like the kind of like signal of things that didn't go as well because it's like, oh yeah, hype behind it, the trailer's coming out, all this stuff, and then
Mhm.
like a week after, it's just kind of
Yeah.
you don't hear anything about it. It's kind of yeah, because it's kind of like that with movies too,
Yeah.
like especially I kind of like to use like the Anchorman 2 example. You hear
Yeah.
so much hype about it before it comes out, and though as soon as the opening weekend's up, never heard about it
I
again.
forgot that movie existed until just now, honestly.
Exactly. I know. That's what I'm saying. But you remember the hype before it came out.
Yeah.
Everyone was talking about it. And
Yeah.
then it bombs and you never hear about it again.
No. And it's also kind of disappointing because Watch Dogs 2 had a black protagonist. So, of course, you had like both extremes on Twitter, like freaking out in different ways over that. People are like, I'm going to boycott this because there's a black guy in the box. I'm going to support it because there's a black guy in the box. And all the people in the middle, they're like, I just want to play a good game. Can we just get a good game, please? Which, like, I'm not saying anything, against representation of video games or whatever. I appreciate it. But, like, people freak out a bit too much. And, like,
Yeah.
I don't tend to like getting political on the show, but I'm just gonna say this. Generally, if you like freak out one way or the other about something like this, that kind of limits the impact it can have. So because of that kind of weirdness surrounding that, the people that wanted to support it for that reason bought it, and other people were like, Watch Dogs wasn't that great. This game doesn't look much better, so I'm just kind of not going to buy it. And then the other people are like, they're going to boycott it regardless.
Yeah.
So it just kind of it appeased the people who were going to buy it regardless because of what it was doing. It appeased like the hardcore Watch Dogs fans, yet no one really else. And I'm kind of hoping that I'm kind of thinking that Ubisoft will announce a Watch Dogs 3 this year, just to round out the trilogy, and hoping they can do something like drastically different with it.
Yeah, try something they haven't tried before, because I mean, 1 and 2 were, pretty similar, and they're trying to like, branch out, try a new idea, see if you can gather some new fans, kind of like that circle that you said, the hardcore Watchdog fans. Like, I know they're out there, but that circle's not as big as it could be. You could definitely try to branch that out.
Yeah, like essentially, one of the main issues this game had was that many people compared it to Grand Theft Auto like way too much, because they came out around the same. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 and Watch Dogs came out around the same time. One was clearly superior to the other. So it's like, oh, it's just Grand Theft Auto, but you could hack things sometimes. It's like, you're not wrong. So I would kind of hope that Watch Dogs 2 would help that. And it was just more the same. So maybe what they could do with Watch Dogs 3 is, to appease everyone, the protagonists from Watch Dogs 1 and Watch Dogs 2 are like scouted by the US government to like to use their hacking skills like, for the greater good. And maybe there could be some like government conspiracy they have to like, for like a third act or whatever,
right,
they have to uncover. But like, I feel like that's something different you can do with it that will cause it so that people won't compare it so much to other things.
Yeah, I think that'd be like a good idea, like a different, way to go about going. It's like, all right, this time work together, find something totally new, like just new perspective, new objective, basically. Try to get, change it up. That's what I think. That's like a good suggestion. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's been no confirmation that Watch Dogs 3 will happen, but like I just have a feeling since the other two were released about 2 years apart, it would make sense for them to announce it and release it next year.
Yeah.
One of like every single year, Ubisoft has like a big showstopper, like a new IP or like an older IP that they bring back as like the last big game they show. That's usually the game that succumbs to the Ubisoft curse. Like Watch Dogs and The Division were those games in their respective years. The game last year was Beyond Good and Evil 2, which is the sequel of a game that came out in like 2003. And many people have been anticipating this game for like over 15 years. And the first trailer, it was all CG, but like it still looked pretty darn good. And like there was some hints of like what you could do gameplay wise. So they're probably going to put a pretty big focus on that specific game. Do you know anything about this one?
Not really. You said it's back to 2003?
Yeah, like GameCube era.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. See. So was it only on GameCube? Do you know?
I think so, but don't quote me on that.
Okay, because I don't know. I remember I was more of a PlayStation 2 only, so I didn't have any GameCube games. But man, okay. No, I haven't heard of this game. But have you played this game before?
No, but like I've seen playthroughs and whatnot. The original game looked fine. It was like I guess you'd call it like a 3D action adventure style game. Like I can't really remember like specifics. It's been a while since I watched gameplay of it, but like the sequel at least looks like sci-fi. There's a talking monkey.
Cool.
You play as like scoundrels who like are running away from the government. Like it looks pretty interesting, and like I really hope they can live up to the hype of the original trailers, and that did look so good. Like it legitimately looked like a movie, like something You know how Blizzard is really good with their CG trailers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looked like that.
Ooh, oh, that does look good. And then you said it kind of, okay, so that was kind of, it looked like that at first, or they kind of like deteriorate over time, or kind of like the others,
Generally,
or
they kind of deteriorate over time. So hopefully
yeah.
next time, hopefully when they actually show gameplay, it's not disappointingly bad looking,
Mm.
especially compared to to what we got last year.
It's like you were doing so well.
Hmm. And granted, like Ubisoft made sure to tell people, please understand this. What you're seeing here is not gameplay. This might not even be cinematics from the game. This is just a
Mm.
teaser trailer. So they just wanted to show a trailer for a game that they knew people would be excited for. That could work. I just wish they hadn't, set expectations so stupid high with this amazing looking trailer. Because that is, even if that is the cinematic cutscenes and whatnot, the game's not going to look nearly that good. Like, even on PCs, I don't think it could look
Mm.
that good. And that's just kind of something that's bugged me with more modern video games. Like, the the CG cutscenes look amazing, and then gameplay is like just
Mhm. Subpar compared to like the
yeah,
cutscenes. Yeah.
yeah. It's almost like they take more effort in actually making the movie part as opposed to the actual gameplay of this game. And
Well,
I'm
in
hoping
terms of
Ubisoft isn't
visual,
going that route.
yeah, I mean, in terms of visuals, like generally they do, like obviously you need more mechanics to the actual game part, but like, yeah, visually, yeah, you can tell they put, all their effort into, oh, make sure this cutscene looks good, make sure, like, details and like, characters and their hair and
Mm.
stuff, and like everything looks perfect. And then like, and then flash to the game part and it just kind of looks like, it looks like stick figures compared to
Yeah,
the cinematics. You're just like, what, wait, what? What's that?
yeah. And there have been games throughout the years where the gameplay and the movies look, or the movie parts look pretty much the same.
Yeah.
The only problem is those games are only like 8 hours long, and there's no
Yeah.
multiplayer or anything. Like I'm thinking, the Order 1886. It came out around close to launch of the PS4. Like it
Mm.
looked freaking amazing, but the gameplay was super repetitive, and it was only 8 hours long with no new game plus or no online,
Ooh.
no local multiplayer or anything.
Ooh. That
Yeah,
sounds that's like a day for some people.
yeah.
Like that is not.
Like whenever I pick up a new Pokemon game, generally I play 6 to 10 hours on that first day alone. So I would
Yeah,
finish this game just straight up.
Yeah, you're like I'm expecting to be on this for a while.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
yeah. Like I'm not paying $60 just to watch an 8 hour movie. Like that's I
No.
don't know. That's just especially when games
No.
nowadays are like are huge open worlds. RPGs
Hmm.
go up into the 100 hours. Like
Yeah.
like most games nowadays average like 50 hours or more. Paying $60 for an 8 hour experience, it's
It's
just
a
not gonna cut
ripoff.
it nowadays.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so
But
hopefully Beyond Good and Evil 2, like it looks amazing right now. Just hopefully they show something that either if it is less, hopefully they pepper expectations beforehand, or they live up to them. That'd be nice too.
yeah, but we'll see. Who knows?
One character whose game franchise is way overdue for a new game, Rayman. Um,
Yo, Raven.
yeah,
Classic.
yeah.
Uh,
And Rayman Legends came out in 2013, I believe.
I think that's
Um,
right.
and it's been released to literally everything since then. And I kind of hope Ubisoft isn't just kind of resting because this game is really, really good. I just kind of hope
Mm.
Ubisoft isn't resting on this game as like Rayman's Minecraft, where it can just kind of exist on its own forever. I just kind of, would hope. Essentially, what I'm saying is I want a new Rayman game coming out
Yeah,
soon. Like that could
you're
be
not
like
alone.
a good like opener for this press conference.
Yeah. Oh man. Because yeah, Rayman. I mean, it definitely. what has like went out on a high note with Rayman Legends, because I mean that thing everyone's talking about, oh, so good, so nice,
Yeah.
but like it's been a while. Rayman, like,
Yeah.
no
Like if
one would
Splinter Cell
mind
can come
getting
back
another
after
one.
5 years, I don't see why Rayman couldn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why not? All these other games are coming back. Like, I mean, it's the new trend seems to be, why make a new game when we can just bring more of the old games?
Yeah.
Like start a new franchise. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, yeah, because I mean, Rayman's a classic. It's been around for,
Early PS1,
yeah,
Dreamcast,
that's what
maybe.
I'm saying, like 20 years almost. So
Yeah,
like,
probably.
yeah, probably, yeah, probably. Because I'm trying to think that game I had, yeah, that game was like in the '90s. So yeah,
Hmm.
about 20 years at this point. So yeah, like, why not bring it around? Keep it going.
Did you play the 2D ones or the 3D ones?
I played the 2D ones first. I played a little bit of the 3D ones, but like
Okay.
for me, most of my Rayman memories are 2Ds.
Okay. Okay, because it would be cool if, since Rayman Legends is like arguably one of the best platformers ever made, according to like, many, many people. I think it's among the highest rated platformers ever made.
Yeah.
Um, why not, you know, at least shelve 2D platformers for now? Like you did it. You won. Good job.
You won.
Just be like, you know what? Maybe we should try making a new 3D Rayman game. That could be nice.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be the next step. I don't know if they. Do you think they'd be willing to make that jump, like risking how where they are right now? Because right now they're sitting pretty with it. I know it's been a while, but like they're like, do we really want to risk messing that up?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, especially since 3D platformers, they're not really our
Yeah,
genre anymore. Like Mario Odyssey was really, really good,
yeah,
but
but that's Mario Odyssey. Like,
yeah. And
you
there are
know,
other games here and there that are, kind of get their time in the spotlight, but they're not as seen as like, as quality for whatever stupid
mhm.
reason as like a third person shooter or an
Yeah.
online shooter or an open world game like Grand Theft Auto or something like that. Um, so hopefully Ubisoft would. I'm hoping they would not care and just take the risk regardless. Like maybe they saw, hey, Mario Odyssey looks really really good and it is really good. Maybe we can. Maybe this is the time to kind of have a
Make
resurgence
our
in this
version.
kind
Yeah.
of somewhat dead genre.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of like make their like so to speak answer to Mario Odyssey.
Yeah,
Not that it'll like outdo it, but like just to put it out there.
yeah. Just give it a try. No, I mean the worst you could do is just make a worse game than Mario Odyssey, which is going to happen anyway. So like, don't go even
I'm
trying.
like, if you beat Mario Odyssey, like
You win at
let's
life. Just close up
that's what I'm
shop.
saying. You
Like
you're like you well yeah. What do you
retire at
say?
that point.
Yes. You can't go out on a higher note than that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, some people
Retire.
already consider Rayman Legends better than some of the newer 2D Mario games. So I mean, if you can beat the newer 3D Mario game,
Woo.
you even think you have the chance to at least compete with it, you might as well try.
I mean, if they can do it, I mean, the thing about the Mario Legends, Rayman Legends is like if they can do the things that they did right for the 2D with the 3D,
Mm,
then I'm not saying it'll beat it, but like it could be on par. Like
yeah,
they could do
you
that.
get on up there. Like
That's what I'm
like
saying.
at least like scraping the heels, or whatever that saying is.
Yeah.
I don't
What is
know.
it? Okay. I've never. What did you say? Scrape their heels?
Scraping the
What is it?
heels, like right behind them,
Scraping
I
the
think is like
heels.
what the
Oh, okay, that makes sense now.
I
Okay, I was
think.
about to say, I was like,
I'm not sure if
I was
scraping
thinking,
is the right word there, but it's something the heels
yeah.
and
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean,
scratching
it
the heels.
makes
I don't know.
sense though. I immediately get it now that I know what you meant.
Okay.
I was like, okay, that makes total sense. So, but yeah, I mean, it won't be if they do bring a new one, for 3 platform, that'd be a welcomed addition for
Mm,
sure. So I mean, yeah, and I mean, maybe that'll get more people back into platform because, like,
yeah,
other than Mario Odyssey, like platform is not really the thing anymore. So
which is really disappointing because like those are all solid games. Like
yeah.
really, Nintendo still are still building their empire on platformers. Like Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze just came out. I know
Mhm.
it's the port of the Wii U game, but it's still objectively one of the best platformers ever made. Kirby just recently came out. Like I said, Mario Odyssey. A new Yoshi game is coming out this year, another platformer. Like most of the games they make are platformers, and they're all really, really good. So I wouldn't mind if there was some competition to that so they could get even better.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like, oh, they're trying. Guess we have to, step it up, and then, boom, awesome. Like
Yeah.
they get even better. But yeah, I mean, hey, I mean, and who knows? Like maybe that'll just like even if that like even if it doesn't outdo what's already been made, just having them there will be enough for them to like try to increase their
Mm,
like how good the
yeah.
games are and like try to get better.
Or even if it doesn't like have any impact on Nintendo themselves, it'll mean we have a new Rayman game, so I don't see a
That
reason to
is true
complain there.
too. Yeah. All Rayman fans will be happy regardless as long as it doesn't bomb. So
Yeah. Or even if they what if they want to just make another 2D platformer? People love Rayman Legends, so we have no reason to think this would be a bad thing.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, just make. I mean, honestly, they could just make a new one, up the graphics a little bit, and no one would be mad.
Yeah.
I would be mad. I would just be like, all right,
Yeah.
then, like,
Why not?
buy a new. Like, why not?
Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, honestly, because like, I mean, you have nothing to lose, really. Honestly, just tweak the graphics, maybe make a little more like interactive, like get more details on
Mm.
the certain characters. But I mean, like, even if they basically do that, cut paste, like, it'd still be a success because if
Yeah.
you do that based on a great game, you're gonna have great results regardless.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully they bring that back. I'm like maybe 60-40 on the all like the actual chance of them doing that. So
Yeah.
hopefully they do. Kind of speaking about Nintendo, last year they announced Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, and no one thought that would be a good idea. Mario and potentially the gaming equivalent of the Minions
Yeah.
doesn't sound like it would really mesh, but that's actually a really, really, really good game. Like it is crazy how good that game is for how
Really.
weird the concept is. It's um it's a strategy game with Mario characters and rabbits dressed up as Mario characters.
Wait, what? They're dressed as Mario characters?
Yeah, like Rabbid Luigi, Rabbid Peach, Rabbid Mario, Rabbid
Oh
Yoshi, and
goodness.
then
Okay.
the Mario counterparts.
Right.
Like you, if you saw Rabbids and Mario crossover, oh, it'd be a 2D platformer or like a 3D party or like a
Hmm.
3D platformer or a party game or something stupid like that.
Right. That's what I was
No,
thinking.
it's like an XCOM style, like real time strategy, like, and every character has guns and like weapons and stuff. Like it's
Whoa.
really weird and
Okay.
really good.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, wait. Okay. Like, okay. Like, run through it really quick. Like, talk to me about it. Like,
Okay. So it's so I think essentially when you start a map, you can pick three characters. Let's just say you pick Mario, Peach, and Rabbid Yoshi.
mm,
Each of these characters has their own unique weapon. Um, uh, and they might have like different properties and whatnot. Um, so you start out essentially like a gridded battlefield, and you tell your character like where to go on the battlefield. Well, like of course, like kind of you can only go so far, but if
right.
another character like goes to the spot where one character, let's say, you send Rabbid Yoshi up 10 spaces up, and then you send Peach up to where Rabbid Yoshi is. Rabbid Peach can then like spring off him and go even further. And
Oh.
and since it's set in the Mushroom Kingdom,
Mm.
there's like blocks you can break and like cover and like piranha plants and just I can't. It's so weird to explain like just what this game is and how it's good because of just how stupid the concept is. But it's like there was heart and soul put into this game, which is never something you would expect from a Rabbids game.
No.
So the fact that the game was so good, just out of flipping nowhere, no one expected this game. Like there were rumors about it before this game came out. There was like actual evidence that this game existed, posters that this game existed. Yet people still said, No, that's fake.
No.
And it happened, and it's good. So, like, essentially what I'm getting at is I want Ubisoft to try again with a different Nintendo franchise. There's some crazy crossover with some Ubisoft character and some Nintendo character. Just try something else, like Legend of Zelda and Assassin's Creed. Just try it.
Honestly, I could kind of see that. I don't know. I could kind of. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I could see that. You get Link a little HUD or something like. Yeah, I
Yeah.
could see. I mean, that might work.
I don't know exactly how it would work, but like, just if you can get Mario and the Rabbids to coexist and it actually
Anything
be
is
fun
possible.
and good, literally, yeah, anything is possible. Like you can have Kirby and Splinter Cell together, and I'm sure it would be amazing.
Just how Kirby. Maybe. I mean, who knows? Like.
Yeah.
I am thinking about that Assassin's Creed like Zelda thing because
Mhm.
I mean because their worlds are just similar enough
Yeah.
to work. Like it's not the same concepts by any means, but like it's just enough
Yeah.
that you can make it coexist.
Yeah, and that's why the Rabbids and Mario kind of really mesh really well, is because they're both animated, cartoon characters basically.
Right.
There's no really sense of realism in either of these series. So they mesh pretty well.
Right.
Assassin's Creed is solely based on reality, and Zelda is probably Nintendo's most realistic game franchise. It maybe could work. I don't know how they would like combine the universes or whatever. Probably somehow like the assassins have just always been in Hyrule and they're just now like being referenced, or like maybe somehow Ganon did something and fuse the worlds. They can make it work.
That's what I'm saying. Something like that will play. But like, I mean, it doesn't really matter how it comes together. No, like it's just as long as it gets there, it doesn't matter. For a crossover game, you know what's gonna happen.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm not like expecting it, but just some kind of cool Nintendo crossover again. Just they can have another shot at this. Just I wouldn't mind.
I mean, we'll see. It depends. On that, as long as they don't get too crazy with it. But yeah, I think as long as they like, which they will, while I like pick choices that make sense, I'm just gonna randomly throw stuff out there.
Yeah. So the last thing I want to talk about from Ubisoft is essentially Ubisoft is, in a lot of people's eyes, like the king of open world. I can't really say open world, but like essentially open world in the sense that you're in a city. Outside of like Rockstar and Ubisoft, they're so good about these kind of expansive worlds within this just one big city you can explore and do something. And I think it would be pretty cool if Ubisoft had a new IP that was a superhero game. Have you played any of the infamous games?
Yeah, those are actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, something just like that, where you're the superhero in this big open city, basically Batman Arkham Knight, but just a new IP from Ubisoft,
and no tanks wars. God, sorry. This is my personal. I got tired of that part. I love the game, but the tank part killed me. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, like whenever I'm watching a playthrough of that, I skip all of those. Like even the commentator over it, just like we were like, I'm getting so tired of this. Like I wouldn't mind if people skip through this right now. I was like, okay, cool.
So here's the link. Oh, perfect. Like
yeah, just being able to have whatever powers you want. Maybe you can even like, if you have a couple powers you can pick from to begin with and just go throughout the city, just mess around with. Maybe have something like, I think Assassin's Creed might have this, but I know Watch Dogs has a thing where like, also Infamous has this too, where depending on like what you do, people either like you or you're considered a bad guy, and like you can either like embrace one or the other. And and you get like certain powers other way. So don't copy Infamous to a T, but at least take inspiration from that. And I feel Ubisoft could do it pretty well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because like it has. I mean, obviously there are elements that like okay, yeah, we saw this. This worked really well. Let's do that. Yeah, they love how these interactions were, and it's like, oh, but this part they struggle. Let's not. Let's kind of it's like don't take everything they did,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but like take the little things they did well. It's like okay, I'm gonna borrow that, borrow this. No, oh, they can keep that. We'll go put your own spin on, it, obviously. But
Yeah.
yeah, they could run something like that, like some kind of open world interactions, just kind of. But keep it fresh in your own way. Still, don't
Mm-hmm.
just.
Yeah. Just, I just essentially I don't want to go through another big open city just as a dude. Watch Dogs, you're just a dude who's good at hacking and driving cars. Assassin's Creed, you're a dude who's good with a knife.
Okay, but like you kind of undersell Assassin's Creed there.
Okay, I understand that, but still, you don't have freaking superpowers.
I mean, that's like saying in Batman Arkham, you're just a dude who has a car and can beat up
He's like
people.
actually is a superhero though, so like
Okay, yeah, but he doesn't have superpowers per se, other than being rich.
yeah. Okay, I see your point, but still,
Yeah, yeah, I know.
I I want to just be able to fly around a city in the Ubisoft way, basically.
Yeah, okay.
I also wouldn't mind if Ubisoft, I don't know, maybe branched out a bit and tried a similar style game to um something like a Far Cry or a Assassin's Creed or whatnot, but in space.
In
They
space.
haven't really done that yet.
Well, I mean, that's a big step just to like put it in space. I don't know. Like, are you thinking like traveling between worlds or like what do you mean? Like, elaborate on that a little bit.
Maybe like there's obviously gonna be some space combat, maybe a planet or two you can explore, but probably how they would end up doing it is you're in like a big space station, and it's
Hmm.
basically just like you know expansive city style game they're good at, just in space, just like it's a space
Okay.
station basically.
Okay, yeah, so just kind of okay, just do it in space. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that's how it. Okay, yeah, that would be a good way to change it up, and like you could occasionally go like around the universe or whatever. But
Yeah.
just kind of okay, that'd be yeah, I could see that. Maybe that'd be a good one. Or just like I don't even know if like you have to do in space. Just like try a different environment they haven't tried before. Just like
Yeah.
I don't know. But like I
Antarctica.
mean, in space is a good touch though. I don't know. It just gives that extra little like
Mm,
you haven't. It's literally that we've never been cheered before. So
yeah. Just essentially, I honestly really enjoy watching Ubisoft press conferences because I just feel like they have fun with whatever they're doing. Um, and I kind of made fun of the just dance segments, but like they're still having fun doing that. The press conference out the
Mhm.
entire time, like the speakers are really energetic. The people presenting their games actually feel like they actually like their game. They know what they're talking about. They enjoy being there. So having the Just Dance segment is kind of more of the same. So I just whenever I go into Ubisoft press conference, I'm just like I'm ready to have a fun time. Like even if the game doesn't look super interesting to me personally, I'm still probably gonna have a fun time watching this press conference.
Right, and they put like a lot of joy and stuff into like it's like it may not be the number one selling game, but you know what? We enjoy making it, and the fans
Yeah,
will enjoy playing